In our third video for Ruth 1:8, we have Naomi's direct speech continuing. And so we're going to start after the second Zakef, and we're going to stop at the Athnach. Isha levet ima, each to the house of her mother. And so if you remember in our previous video, when Naomi's speech started, she started with two imperatives, and those imperatives were directed toward Ruth and Orpah, her daughters-in-law, and she's telling them to go and return. And so in our clause now, we see where she wants them to return, each to the house of her mother. First, we have Isha, and that is the word for woman, and that is the absolute form. And you remember the absolute form means there's nothing attached to it, no suffixes or anything. It's often the form that you see on your vocabulary cards. But when you heard me translate this, you heard me say each. You didn't hear me say woman. Well, this word Isha and the word for man, which is Ish, often in the Hebrew Old Testament, it's often translated as each because these words are used distributively. And so often in our English translations, when you see each, it's actually one of these two words. And so she's telling Ruth and Orpah to each of them go back to your mother's house. Next, we have a construct phrase. And on that construct phrase, we have the lamed preposition, to. Next, we have bait. Now, this is the construct form for the word for house, which is buy it. You better buy that house. You better buy it. And so this is an irregular form. So you can tell that they don't, the construct and absolute form kind of look similar but different. And this is where your lexicon will come in handy with these irregular construct forms. And it's in construct to the following word, ima. Now, ima, this is the word for mother, and it has the singular 3fs suffix. That's not the feminine ending. The feminine ending would not have that dot or the mapik in the hay. Like you see, this is a feminine ending here. But on ima, that's the third feminine singular suffix. So that mapik will help you tell the difference. Now the word for mother in its absolute form is actually aim. You see it's a sereh, and then the mem does not have a dagesh. Well, technically there is a dagesh, but it's implied, and it doesn't become explicit until you add something to the end of the word, like we have here with the 3fs suffix. So your vocabulary card, its absolute form, it's going to be aim. But anytime you add a suffix to the end, that dagesh is going to become explicit, and then you get a hirik under the aleph. Now, anytime you add a suffix to a word, that makes the word definite. So that's why you heard me say to the house of your mother, not to a house. This contract package is definite because ima is made definite by that third feminine singular suffix. So this concludes our video.